Hello guys, hope everyone's doing alright. Sorry, just closing a few things, there we go. Yeah, hope everyone's doing okay. Continuing on this bad boy, I still hate him. So I just mute the other chats. There we go. But yeah, still not really liking the way the project's going, but as I said in the last stream, I feel like it's just as valuable to stream the projects that aren't going so well as much as it's valuable to stream the projects that do go well. So I'm going to continue regardless. That being said, obviously the deadline for this project is Friday, and tomorrow night I'm working for Bournemouth. So I'm not. I think tonight is like the last night I've gotten this, and Loki just came out, like the season finale. So I'm going to be watching that tonight. So it's not going to be a huge stream. So I need to focus on the things that will do the most, have the most effect for the least legwork, basically. So, and other than that, I accepted some freelance today, which is going to keep me very, very busy for a while, until like end of August. So I won't be available to really stream that much until I know how the project's going. Basically just a shit ton of work on the project. I'm also going to just quickly lower my microphone level 1 second. But yeah, so a bit of a fun time, I guess. Sorry, just no, that's not what I want to do. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my microphone. There we go, mic volume. Lower that. Cool. But yeah, so I've got a ton of freelance on the way, which is like going to be really fucking heavy. So I need to be able to focus on that. So this will probably be the last stream for a little while, unless the freelance ends up going a bit smoother than I expect it to. I'm looking forward to it though. The clients seem like they're going to be really great. But anyway, I should get on with the model and with the Grim. So in terms of where we're up to, this is the latest render. I really don't like it. The lighting, basically going for the lighting of that other plushie, has just highlighted issues with this one. So I'm going to revert the lighting. We are missing the seam lines, and the model is still too simple in terms of shape. So that's my list, basically. I also want to revisit the eye shade and just add some flakes to really pretty it up. But yeah, so we're going to relight this guy, get a light that's in front of him so he's not got all this darkness thing going on. Add some seam lines so it's not just an egg. Tweak the model shape so it's also not just an egg. And we'll see kind of where it takes us, really. So I'm going to do the eye first, just because that's a quick win. So let's just quickly go and watch it not be a quick win. So let's go into that render close-up. And I can't actually select the eye, can I? Eye group. Cool. And let's just start a render with this guy. Cool, so that's the current eye shader. I just want to get some flakes in there. I want to kind of play about with it. So let's go and first off fix the depth. I'm going to add a bit more depth. I want to find a nice value. Let's go way higher. So okay, so that's too much depth. So let's go half that. I just want to get a hint of the refraction still. Let's go 1.5. So it kind of like softens the edges. It's like a self blur kind of thing. And then let's quickly tweak the anisotropy to get a little bit more of that feeling of depth out of it. So now it's got a little bit more tone to it. If we set this to 0, we get this. And what if we set it to negative numbers? So negative numbers bounce light back towards the actual light itself, which is the reverse of what I want. So let's just go find a nice value. That seems nice to me. Maybe a little bit more anisotropy. Hey Ian, how you doing, man? It's been a while. Cool, so that works for me. So let's get into the hyper shade, and I'm gonna throw some flakes on there and see what it does. And let's just quickly alt save. Cool. So it's an AI flake. I don't think I've ever used the AI flakes, but I can't imagine it's terribly difficult. So I don't know what the output of this is. Let's plug it into normal camera, because I don't know if this outputs okay, so let's just throw that scale That's easy enough. Let's just get a little bit of a glittery effect. Why's IOR spaced out so weirdly? So, density, let's reduce that so there's a bit more of a gap between them. Scale, let's go a little bit bigger. Okay, that's a bit too big, but I guess we can test out things like normal randomize, so we can reduce that a little bit. Basically, the more we reduce this, the more it's going to only affect around highlights. IOR, let's see what this does. I know what IOR is, but I'm wondering like how it reacts in this case. It doesn't seem to really be doing much. Yeah, so if I set this to basically the highest, you're going to get like flakes kind of scattered everywhere. It also affects the shadows more. So let's just quickly... If I set this to basically nothing, you're going to find it only around the highlight itself. It's a very subtle effect. So that works quite well. Let's find a good density. And what's step? That adds something nice here, so I'm going to keep that. And let's just slightly increase that density. Not bad, been following this project on Facebook, gives me a chuckle every time. I hate it though, man. I really hate this project. I wish I could put into words how much I hate it, but I can't. So, fun. I do like this render though. I do quite like that BDI thing that we got going on. So let's quickly, I'm going to save this out because I also want to test something with BDIs on a different project. BDI 01. Cool. So that's for a non-related project. AI flakes, that's all working. I think I'm happy with the way this eye is now. So we can leave him alone. Let's go and actually let's quickly show the groom at this distance. I'll show both, why not? So I just need to see how much I can get out before 9 o'clock basically. That's the aim. I'm gonna send. Cool, so I'm gonna close that. I gotta give this a moment to do its thing. It's regenerating all the hair. There's 3 people watching at the moment. Who else is here at the moment? I feel like I should very slightly increase the anisotropy of the eye again. So that's 0.8. I'm getting a bit too much colour, although I could just desaturate it. I also need to increase the values of this map. Hey Benji, how you doing, man? Okay, let's kill that. I need to very quickly increase the values of that. So, I am in a lock camera. Benji, do you know if if I'm teaching you tomorrow, because I'm doing another session for Bournemouth. I don't know if I get given the same group each week or not this year round. Right, so let's go to Edit Groom, Attribute Paint, CO1 Mask. I'm just going to paint a low value. Let's go like 0.25 and just paint that in here. Just so we get a little bit of clumping, because it's feeling too flat at the moment. Something like that. How's your evening going? Yeah, not too bad. Had some meetings with work, trying to figure out some stuff for upcoming projects. So I went a little bit over time, which I don't normally do. But yeah, other than that, it's all been good. I'm really looking forward to the freelance. Really excited for that. So I feel like one of the main issues in this area is that the fur is pointing forward too much. So let's quickly fix that. I don't know why it's pointing forward so much, because I know these are, but like, I don't know, feels like it should be a bit flatter. Let's quickly edit Groom. I'm just going to sculpt these guys to be a bit flatter. Oh, let's turn off. So that should fix the immediate problem. Cool, so let's do another close-up render. Oh, actually, I have to change my render settings. There we go. That will slow down my renders, but also make the streams more stable. It's by sign up. Only a handful of slots available. Last time I checked, there's only one slot left, and it was going to be until tomorrow. Fair enough. That makes sense. So let's give this a moment to do this thing. Window. I need more taper on the strands. I'm just going to let it do a pass of the whole thing, then I'm going to pick areas to refine, because it takes too long to refine. It takes too long to refine if I just leave it to it, like the whole image. God, it is slow though. I need to let an area clean up, because the difference between the clean renders and the non-clean renders is massive. I feel like I need more taper at the tips. Why do you hate this project? It just looks awful, man. Like, on a technical level, there's nothing about this project that looks good. And it really bugs me. Granted, I did start this project when I had COVID, so there is an excuse. The model was very rushed and done by an ill man. So that's the excuse I'm going to use to keep my ego in check. Or to keep my ego intact even, not in check. Let's increase this clumping a little bit. Granted, it's not an awful project. Like, obviously, I'm aware it doesn't look bad, like, objectively. There's many worse projects out there, but at the same time, it just is nowhere near what it could have been. Which almost bothers me more, to be honest. Right, so we need to find the width of... would fur and a manufactured plushie have taper? No, it wouldn't. I'm just trying to find a way to make this look better. And I feel like a bit more taper would help. So that's something like that. It would just soften the tips, make it feel a little bit more gentle. But you are correct though, it wouldn't have taper. Or if it did have taper, it would be very, very mild. And it'd be a result of the manufacture process. Like kind of the cutting of the hair could do something. And the hairs are too thick, but at the same time they are being overridden at render time. Like they're going to a third, so that I'm not too worried about. Maybe the last scraggle I put on there is too heavy. Although this doesn't feel too bad in terms of the scraggle. I'll reduce it slightly. Let's just quickly go in. So, was it... wait, was that the wrong width that I just changed? No, it wasn't good. Oh, I need to change you as well. Cool, and then let's get to... It's the second scraggle, it's a frizzy one, right? Yep. So if I turn that off... So which one's doing the damage? Okay, so that one's really subtle. Just make it a little bit more subtle. Because it's stacking really badly with this guy. Let's just shut a root tape. It's actually harder to see than this guy. When are you ending this? What, life? No, this project, it should be tonight. So let's go to this guy again. Let's reduce that root scraggle. And then go to this guy. And the percentage needs to go up, I think. And then that needs to go a bit higher as well. Any ideas for the next project? No idea. I mean, given the freelance that's on its way, I probably won't have time for extra projects, to be honest. the next project, I mean, these mini-series are actually based on a competition for work. Basically, well, it's not a competition. It's like a friendly thing. Basically, every 2 weeks a new topic is given out, and then at the end of that 2 weeks a sculpt or mini project is done. I always aim for mini projects. 2 weeks for me feels like too long to do a sculpt for that type of work. So I like to kind of use these as an excuse to like push loads of different stuff, which is quite a lot of fun. Right, so let's quickly revisit lighting, and then I can look into getting the seams in there. So hide you and you, and let's go into the Arnold renderer, change you to the correct render cam. Now I'm just going to move the lights around. So I kind of want to flatten the front just a little bit. As I said, I'm just trying to get the most out of the least work for this. It's weird how it's taking this long to start a render when there's no fur. Crash? Question mark? Right. Oh, wrong. Okay, so we need to move these lights around a bit. So I think this is kind of my main light. Or would be my main light. So let's set you up to like 6. And move you around to the front a little bit. What if we put it directly in front? It'll flatten it out a lot, right? But I don't like how this shadow's lining up with the knife. What if I put it from this angle? Okay, so now what I'm going to try is to temporarily throw my resolution way down. Let's go like 512. I could even go lower, I could go 256. Why is it in 512 by 513? Hey, look, how you doing, man? I love him. You are incorrect. You do not love him. You think you love him. I'm gonna go even lower resolution. Let's go 256. And I don't know why it's adding a pixel. I know that I could do the test resolution thing, but I always find it glitches out for me and kind of gets stuck at the test resolution for ages. And it's not that much slower just to change resolution here. And is there a way for me to lower the pre-samples in this guy? And good man, what about you? Yeah, I'm not doing too bad. Life's good in general. Just got a lot to do. Right, so if we hide this guy. Yeah, we definitely need that. That helps a lot. On the thumbnail level anyway. Maybe I should render at this resolution because this is more faithful to the fucking reference. Wait, should I legit post it like super low res for like the first hour? Because it's more faithful to the ref. Annoyingly, at this low resolution, I quite like it. I hate that so much. The eye reflections being 1 pixel. What resolution was the original image, actually? Let me just check this. So, the original image was... Nah, that's not right. Apparently it's 1200 pixels by 675. That's been blown up to be that scale. That's not 1200. No way. Considering this feels just as detailed. How have you recovered from COVID? I think pretty well. I feel fine. I coughed today for seemingly no reason, so I hope it's not coming back, but yeah, I feel fine. I think I was quite lucky actually with my recovery. It went very quickly. Alright, yeah, I'm just going to post it, this resolution. He's bearable at this resolution. Right, okay, so let's stop fucking about. I'm going to increase the resolution slightly, because it's a bit too low res. Why does it always add a pixel? Cool. Start a render. I'm basically just trying to find where it breaks down. If it breaks down at higher resolutions, then it's because the individual hairs aren't right. If it breaks down at low resolutions, it's because the silhouette's not right. Or values. Values are the main thing. My shader's too sensitive to light. Is anyone in the chat gonna watch Loki tonight? If you've not already seen it. If you have already seen it, do not spoil it. I will fucking kill you. That was a bit overly aggressive. I won't fucking kill you. I'm sure you're a fine person. But don't spoil Loki, please. I'm in such a weird mood today. So, part of me wants to light link this light off of the eyes, because I don't like this thing in front. I'm wondering if what I need is a larger light, like a rectangle. Let's scale it up. No. It's normalized, so it shouldn't have too much of an effect. It just softened the shadows. Let's just move it back a little bit and increase the strength. Let's go 8. Duck will kill us. Yeah, true. Oh, actually, I need suggestions. 2 things. Should I model the text for the meme format? Because the meme format is, let me find it. Duck with knife. So, the original meme, oh fucking hell, okay, this is actually representative of the actual resolution. So this is 200 by 195. It's self-love o'clock, you best be knowing you are loved and how, knowing how loved and important you are. I think that's the original resolution, funnily enough, so this is what I'm contending with. I do want to change it to be more CG artist related, but at the same time, I could just do the it's self-love o'clock thing, and just kind of roll with it. Having this giant light in front has helped kind of soften things out. If I set you to 0 again. Give this a moment to do this thing. But yeah, so what do you guys think? One suggestion that I got was it's save o'clock. You best be saving your Maya files or texture files or whatever, like it said to put at the end of that. But to me, I don't know. I feel like it kind of misses the original point of this. Like the whole point is that the duck has a really nice little message to like encourage you. So I feel like saying it's save o'clock just kind of misses the mark. It is kind of, you know, in its own way funny, but it's not hilarious. Hey Francisco, I would add the text in Photoshop in post. Yeah, I'm just wondering, do I want it to have a 3D presence? I need to see how this bit refines. This is the troublesome area for this groom. Granted, it's better now that I've flattened it, but it's still not great. I hate the fact that the low resolutions work better. But yeah, we get quite a lot of contrast in this, so let's store a snapshot and add you back to full intensity. So it's going to get super bright now. But because it's flattening things, we remove a bit of that contrast, but I kind of like it without that contrast. Granted, it's still there. If you're wondering why the beak and the feet are grey at the moment, it's because the colours for this scene are coming entirely from the groom. When I add the groom on top, that will fix it. Granted, I know that these should have colour, but I just don't care. But yeah, so let's give this a moment to clean up just so I know what I'm dealing with. I think it's too flat with this light here. I feel like I need to move it to the side or something. So we lose a lot of depth around the eyes as well. Could be that I also just need to kind of dim it down a bit, maybe. Yeah, it definitely needs a light in front. I just need to figure out brightness and exact position. Because that feels a lot nicer to look at. But nah, that feels kind of evil. I'm wondering how much of that comes from the reflection in the eyes, though. It's like reverse pupils. Okay, so let's store that snapshot. I'm also going to save my scene so I can come back to it. And I need to make some groom changes. Let's put him over here. Now, do another render. Just move it a bit closer. Would you like me to have a word with Maya for you? That kind of works, actually. I kind of like that. I feel like it needs a setup. I don't know. I'm not funny enough to do this sort of thing. The light in front, does it work better? Oh, that's gonna bug me. I think I prefer the light in front. Feels more like a product render, which is ultimately what this was, right? Let me just allow this to do a cleaner region. So this gives better shaping around the eyes, like this one. But this one gives a better feel overall, and I guess the feel overall is the most important bit, especially since the original image has no shaping around the eyes. This is also not the original image. Like there's no shaping around the eyes. There's like a little shadow here. There's a seam along the middle, isn't there? Wait, is that where the seam lines are? So it's one up here, then one up there. That'd be good if it is. Okay, yeah, I need to hear from you guys. What do you think? Light in front, which is this one, or light from the side, which is this one? Light from the side gives a bit more shaping, but we start to get that ugly contrast back. But at the same time, this feels more like a product render. This feels less like a product render. Oh, actually, no. Okay, I'm gonna rest on that one. We'll get to it when it becomes important. So, next thing. What is the next thing? I need to increase the length of the groom at the feet and kind of like bury them a little bit. So let's get that done. Well, I guess I need to increase the length on the entire bottom half, which means I need to get that seam in there, really. So that's the lowest possible line, right? That still goes under the arm. So, bad pipeline time, let's go. I'm making model changes while the groom is in progress. That is completely normal. However, you don't normally make model changes while the groom is on there. The reason it doesn't matter in this case is because it's not going through an animation pipeline. What you'll find with Yeti is that as I make changes to the model, these guides that are in the affected area will just follow the model. They don't do it intelligently though. They go to the closest point, basically. And there is a problem with that. When you go to the closest point, it doesn't always mean that you're going to track to the same position. So you naturally get little bits of changes in the groom. For a groom of this length, it doesn't really matter too much, but it's still bad practice. If you have to make a model change, do the model in a separate scene, then bring it back, import your groom on, or convert the groom, and when I say groom I mean the guides, convert it to curves, then transfer it to a new model, and then kind of make steps from there. You don't want to model on a live object. I do it all the time, but it's something you should avoid unless you know how to recover from things. So what I mean is, as I move this, you'll see these guides kind of getting pushed around. And if I did that and then pushed them back, it's gonna get a bit confused. Although it seems to be coping quite well, actually, weirdly. But yeah, so I need to model a seam. So let's see, bevel edge. Let's add 2 segments. Let's go in with this guy and pull him in, pull him out. So that might be a bit too compact. So let's go to that initial bevel, increase the fraction. And then to get it to kind of flow the way I want, I'm just going to edit edge flow this guy. And then do the same with this guy. Same with this guy. Then bevel him, just so he doesn't move. that's not how sewing seams work. That's way too sharp. Let's delete. Come on. Let's delete you. I guess technically. Well, let's not go into technicalities. Let's just edge flow this guy out a bit. So that would be enough to affect the fur. I don't know how much that will affect the fur. So let's just show it. So I don't know if that will show up in render or not. It's really hard to see, but let's give it a go. So that's right below the arm, so it's like here. Also, side note, if you use an action, you can't do that model changes while you're doing anything. Well, like once you got Groom on there, you kind of set in the model without doing full transfer process. It's one of the reasons, like, yes, you can get away with doing model changes with the Groom on there. It's just not good practice. So how visible is that seam? Oh, I should have made a... may need to make it more visible. It seems to be there. Yeah, it's there. I think I need to make it a little bit deeper, but it is there. So I'm not going to bother doing like proper Groom for it, basically. Like a parting, normally you'd affect a Groom in some way, but I'm not going to. Just because I don't really have the time. Sacrilege. What's sacrilege? Let's just slow. Set the face off an edge. It's such a horrible seam model. That's not what seams look like at all. I should probably look at some seams actually. So let me search teddy bear no fur. Because something I am conscious of is if I do a seam fully physically correct, you're going to get hairs that poke out because they've not been simulated in any way. So they're just going to point straight out of the model because that's what the guides are telling it to do. I'd have to put actual guide work in on the seams. Let's go tools, show large. Oh, yeah, it'd help if I showed the Groom, right? And then while that goes, moving topper while grooming an action. Yeah, you wouldn't do that. You really wouldn't want to do that. That's a model. Wonder how they did it. The shorter the fur is, the more you get away with it. See, I do have this downstairs. I could just go check it. But he's not even downstairs, he's upstairs. Alright, one sec guys, I'm just gonna go get this guy. Yeah, I actually have this IKEA teddy, and he's like the coolest thing. Obviously you guys can't see it because I don't stream with a webcam on, which actually at some point I was debating starting, but for now I'm not. I can't see the fur. Oh, I can't see the seam. How does it sew in? It's like a physical, like, bell, is it called, I think? but I can't really get where we're doing that. It's basically just a gap in the fur is the way it seems to come across. I mean, that kind of works well enough, right? So let's get the other seam in there, which is a vertical one. So now, vertical seam. Is there one here? Because I see a little divot here, but I don't think it's a seam. I can try it and see if it works. And it's simple enough to do, right? So, let's just... Wait, what? Oh, fuck you. Okay, so... we have to do this in halves. So, the line that this guide is on, it never reaches the back, okay? You would. You go that way, okay, so where are you? You are the line with that guide. Oh god, this is awful. This is why you should retopologize your models properly. Cool. So then what if I continue that line? Where does it reach the back? It reaches the back. Oh, Jesus. Okay, so if I undo that. So, that's the complete seam. Oh, Jesus, okay. I'm not fixing it. I'm just straight up not fixing it. I mean, I could just take this. So we don't see the back ever, right? So I could just take that to like here. Wait, what? Yeah. Oh, I selected one edge over. Cool. So, bevel this guy. And it doesn't like this bit, but that's fine, I don't care. I could extend it further down. We could just end it under there. That's good enough. Let's just scale. Oh yeah, of course. Okay, so we now need to go to the two opposite ends of this guy. In fact, I can delete this edge on both sides. And that'll stop it selecting the whole way through. Yeah, this is why you retopologize properly, kids. Do as I say, not as I do, kind of thing. At the very least, I can fix this a little bit. Just pull that way. Right, so now I can select this. And it doesn't take everything else with it. So if I just scale this. Oh my god, that's so sensitive. There we go. So, if we show the fur now, do we see a seam? So I'm not seeing a line there. It's moved things around though, and I don't like the way it's moved them. So I might just settle with having just that seam. Unless I just commit to that. Let's go to poly bevel. Let's just bevel this. And then, oh god, this looks so bad. Let's just see what that does, out of curiosity. I can always undo. Or reload an old save. If I've completely lost faith. Oh, I can see it. I think because the fur is travelling in the same direction as the seam, it's not really going to show up the same way. Yeah, I'd have to groom it properly, I think. Which means not doing it. Let's just start undoing. Hopefully there's enough undos, if not I just have to load a save. It's no big deal. There we go. Okay, so this is who we have so far. And I also need to change the shape of the head to get this more square shape, because currently he's way too egg-like. So let's just quickly do what we think it will take. Now he's super flat. Let's see what that looks like. That feels a bit better. Less egg. Might have moved them out a bit too much though, right? It's now a bit too square? Maybe not actually, it just needs another peak in the middle, which it kind of has. Oh, I need to do the feet. That's what it was. That was the other thing. What was the other issue? This area's too tall. Yeah, that area's too tall. It needs to be more out here. Okay, so we need to get rid of that peak. So let's quickly... So the peak is actually more down here. Cool. Then we need to go in and start changing the length near the feet, which now we have a seam, we can start doing a bit more accurately. So, length, edit, tool, pick. So these values are going to be low, right? Yeah, 0.1. So let's set you to 0.2 clipping level, and set you to 0.15. eyedropper did. Okay, so grab these guys. Hopefully this doesn't cause too many issues. So what we're going to have to do is a relatively quick bit of grooming, because I don't know if that length change is the right move. So let's just pull all this in. Again, I'm not too worried right now about getting perfect guide work. I just want to check if the length change is destructive or not. I think that works well enough for our test. Because we do have the procedural noise that kind of break things up a bit, so let's just pull that like that. Cool. So what does that do? That starts to obstruct the feet of it. Now it's a case of checking, does the length change and do anything destructive to the look of the groom? From a quick glance, it looks like it's working. That's really in shadow. This is the problem with the fact that he's been just cut out onto white, is this is incredibly in shadow. So I don't actually know what's around this, but it looks like it's a lot darker. But what ground was he on? Like, how bright was it? Because the bounce light from this is just blowing out all the edges of the knife. That hides well enough. So if I don't like it when I go up to higher res, I can just lower the length of the belly. It looks like it's working. So I do need to change the knife shader too. How much glossiness does it have? I'll let that refine for a moment and then switch back to this. Do I have some surface on this? I don't. Okay, so let's try it with both grooms in. Then we'll try higher resolution. It should cut out the render horribly, and oh, I could do, couldn't I? But that would mean also I could get rid of the ground, which would get rid of the bounce light issue. taking a bit longer now because we've got the really heavy groom in there, which is the beak and the feet. Which actually now I can't see one of the feet. So now we actually get the edge of the knife back.
Are you leaving me?
We're all leaving.
Wait a second. What if I add the ground in, but then pull it, like, do that?
You feel me when you read it.
'Cause that means we'll still get the bounce on the character. And we're not going to get as much bounce, are we? Let's let this clean up for a moment. This is where it was. His little feet poking out. Oh, this is such a dumb project. I need to get this square hip thing going on as well. Which it almost has, but not quite. His little arms need to be thinner as well, but I'm not too worried about matching that sort of shit. Does the extra thickness of the groom fuck up the mouth? I think it does. I have to scale down the mouth just slightly. Literally a few millimeters. 'Cause I prefer the face on this than I do on this. But before we do that, view store snapshot. Now let's move this backwards. I just need to put the plane further back so it goes out of focus quicker. And then I kind of want to move this rim light to get more at the top of the head. I think that little bit less bounce light has helped. So a lot of this will still flatten out when it cleans up. Like the noise has more contrast than the fur itself, so it always kind of mellows out a little bit. It's still going now. So I'm going to scale down the mouth a little bit. Let me just hide the beak. So I'm just literally going to go like that much. And when I add the fur back on, it will now bulk up to the scale. Actually, these guides used to line up with where the fur, with where the model goes. So let's let the fur grow on this and check the length of it against these guides. Yes, that's the same as the original scale now. Or it's a little bit less actually, but I'm okay with that. Cool. What was the other thing we need to fix? It was the body. This bit's too... let's grab you through to you. Set that to surface fall off. Nope. Right. So now we can do a test. Oh, actually, as well. Let's go into the feet. And do they have subdivision? They do. The beak does as well. And the body does not. Weird decision by me. Of course, that will very subtly change the look, but not by much. Alt save. I'll paint in some reflections on this because I'm not I'm not fucking fixing it. Oh god. Granted though, it's changed a lot in this stream, which is good. I don't hate it as much. I still don't like it, but it's not as awful. It just feels dead in comparison to the ref. Like regardless of resolution. This just looks so much better than this. Part of it is lighting, because this guy's really well lit on the top, like evenly lit. This guy is like a little square almost, it's been cut out of shadow. Whereas my guy is more in the middle that it's lacking. But that doesn't really work as an excuse. Also, this groom feels softer than mine. Well, my groom isn't soft enough, nowhere near. Wait, I just realised that's more of like that's higher and then has a little thing. As mine's more caved in. Okay, my guy's been bonked on the head. I feel like the floor is just doing way too much. Like the floor does bounce on this guy, you can see a little bit there, but mine's lighting everything so much more. Look at the bottom of the knife, how different that is. And it's not a perfect model by any stretch, mine's a bit too square, but like... I need to quit bitching. The new mouth is a lot smaller. Might have gone too far in the mouth scale. So let's sort that out. Luckily, I didn't freeze transformations, so I know where it was. So let's go halfway between those two, which is exactly there. Cool. Then back into here. I do quite like the old shape that it had. The new reseeding has kind of ruined that. There's still something about the light in front that I quite like. I mean, lighting is the thing to adjust now. To like kind of find the best out of it that I can. I think Becca just went outside. Okay, so I guess we start adjusting lighting, and then I need to get some kind of slogan in there. Which I'll do in Critter rather than Photoshop. Well, not rather than 3D. I don't have Photoshop. Sure. Cool. I'll be finishing stream at past. It gives you 20 minutes. I probably will work on it a tiny bit off stream. But yeah. Okay, so yeah, this is looking better. Let's just get a clean section of forehead. Okay, cool. So, that seems to be working. Let's store snapshot. And start moving lights again. And let's temporarily hide the snapshots. How do I do that again? Oh yeah. There we go. Cool. So, first off, I think the rim light needs to move. Let's see what the actual reaction of the fur is. This is 512 render times, this is insane. that's boosting the contrast a little bit too much. But I do like the reduction over here. It also adds a nice little light on the eye. Oh, fuck, I didn't mean to do that. Okay. So let's move it back a little bit. So it's not getting quite as much of the top of the head. And move it back so it's not quite as intense. Maybe I should size up the lights. Diffuse them a little bit. Why is he pointing that way? A little bit more in front. So one of my kind of trademarks when I'm doing little guys like this is I tend to put stuff at their feet. I might just quickly add like a hair. Like I did that on the Lego gun that I did ages ago. In fact, let me get that up. It just helps sell the scale. It's a very subtle effect. Did it on this guy. This is... I can't believe this is over a year ago already. Wait. Oh wait, no, because this is posted late. Yeah, I did this over a year ago. But having that hair just kind of helps sell the scale. Obviously, this is a lot smaller than my birdie boy, but I feel like adding this could help a lot. So lighting seems to be working. So I'm going to scale this up relative to that kind of just so it blends more into the background, because its depth of field is what's blending it out. Okay, so let's pause this for a moment. I could just paint it in. It'd be a bit quicker. Should I do a 1K image? Yeah, I should try 1K. This is where the render times really go. Get rid of that. Then I can go watch Loki while it renders. I should show Oh, hello. Why aren't you rendering anymore? Update full soon. It's hard to tell sometimes if it's actually starting a render or not. Yeah, it's taking its time. Is it crashing? That's the question. How do you get rid of the noise coming from the grooming? I feel like increasing samples is just not helping. Groom requires quite a lot of AA samples. That's the problem with it. So the way that I think of sampling in renders is anti-aliasing is and always has been for geometry edges. So without depth of field, the way that I tend to approach it is I set my AA samples until I get a clean edge to like the alpha of objects, basically. That's the way I tend to judge it. Once I've got a clean edge on an object, I then go through the AOVs to see, do I need more diffuse samples? Like, just check your diffuse AOV. If that's noisy, increase your diffuse samples until that's like relatively clean. Then go to specular and rinse repeat until eventually you've got a clean image. That is not necessarily always the fastest way to render, but it normally gets you a clean image without much like back and forth. In terms of the problem with hair is if you think of AA for geometry edges, well, every hair is a different geometry. There's no amount of diffuse samples that will clean up the edge of a hair. It just has to be AA, and when you've got a lot of hairs, especially with soft grooms, incredibly thin hairs, you need a lot of AA samples. Then when you add a depth of field in camera, like I always do, your render times get massive. Granted, I really overuse depth of field in camera and all that sort of stuff, but I just like the way it looks. And as I've always said in these streams, like in personal projects, I don't care about what's efficient, I care about what's fun. Granted, this project has been anything but fun, but I kind of wanted to get through the project, and the eyes were fun to do. So there's been little blips of fun stuff. Overall, it's definitely a lot better than it was yesterday, which is a plus. It's not as good as this. Like, I completely missed the mark on this. But that's fine. So be it. I think the thing that held me back the most, the fur's not right, but I think the thing that held me back the most is that I didn't model it properly. Like, I just kind of thrown a model together to get grooming. Rushing that has kind of caused a cascade effect where nothing quite works. The shader's not good either. I'm not entirely sure how you shade this. I feel like I need to spend more time on that to figure it out. Also, my lighting's not. There's basically nothing that's like great about the image. There's nothing I can really do about that. But a finished project is more important than a perfect one. Speaking of which, Pero. The fucking Gustav Dore thing. I will get back to it, I swear. Although at this point it'll be September because of the freelance I've got to do. But yeah, I think I'm happy with this as to be where this project ends. I can add in the text right above. There is a temptation to do the whole thing of like paint white around the thing. I'll just see how this render turns out. Maybe after watching Loki, I'll make a quick adjustment and then send another render. And I'll probably do the same tomorrow off stream to get it ready for Friday. But yeah, anyway, I hope everyone's having a good evening. I'm gonna go watch Loki. So that's the end of the stream. It's a very short one today. I apologise for that, but yeah, this project is definitely one I just wanted to get over and done with. So yeah, we'll leave it there. In terms of deconstructing what went wrong, I didn't spend long enough at the beginning finding good reference, so I basically wasted too many streams trying to find like cool furs rather than trying to find this fur in higher resolution, because this is obviously nowhere near good enough. So I never actually nailed down a look for fur, which meant that I kind of chased a phantom. Doing that cost me to lose essentially 3 streams, and yeah, so that's the issue with that. Lighting is off. I think the issue for me is that I'm missing the context of the environment. My shadows are nowhere near deep enough, and the lighting direction is different. Granted, that is intentional to some extent, because I have been kind of playing about with it. It was more faithful to begin with, but I think lacking the environmental context, like, you can use the shadow on him to figure out light direction, but it doesn't give you enough information, I feel. So I feel like that's one of the big ones. But you know, other than that, you know, it's turned out okay. It's not awful. It's just nowhere near as good as it could have been. The fur's the big one. I think the hair shader, might be okay. I think the issue is more down to the well, maybe it's too saturated, but I think the issue is more down to the groom and the lighting than it is down to the shader. But I'll play about with it. You know, it's something I can play about with off stream. Maybe you can see in the ID reference. Yeah, it's too low res though. You just see this one light. I don't know if it's indoors, outdoors. It's more than likely indoors, given it's a teddy, but there's just not enough information to tell. So I'm just gonna have to leave this to render and see how it turns out. I might do some quick tweaks off stream. But we'll see how that goes. But anyway, I'm going to head off. I'll get this posted whenever the render's done. And I saw a couple lights there. You can see a couple lights in this? I just see the one. I see like a ground and that, but there's nowhere near enough information. It's just that one light. But yeah. I think the fur colours, like the way the fur renders is the biggest issue, to be honest. But yeah, anyway. So I'm taking that as a learning experience, basically. Find good reference ahead of time. And I'll do a little bit of tweaking off stream to see how far I can get it. The fur's definitely better than it was in the previous stream. But yeah, anyway, I've been babbling on for too long. I'm going to head off, go watch Loki. And I'll hopefully stream not too far in the distant future. It depends entirely on the freelance. So if I don't stream anytime soon, enjoy your weekends and weekdays and all that shit. And if I do stream soon, then I'll see you then, hopefully. And yeah, try to see you in that, guys. Bye bye.